The following is a DW Holy Saints production. St. Luke is one of the four evangelists, the four traditionally ascribed authors of the canonical Gospels. The early church fathers ascribed him authorship of both the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostles. Luke, the historian. Luke is the only Gentile to have written books in the Bible. He is the writer of the third Gospel and the Acts of the Apostles, and his writings have been proven to be historically accurate. In the third Gospel, Luke emphasizes Christ's compassion for sinners and for those who suffer. The Gospel of Luke focuses on the poor and oppressed, encouraging tenderness and compassion for the less fortunate. The story of Lazarus and the rich man who ignored him is told in Luke's Gospel, as is the parable of the Good Samaritan. The Gospel of Luke stresses the importance of evangelizing to the Gentiles. In the Gospel of Luke, we hear Jesus praising the faith of Gentiles, such as the widow of Zarephath and Naaman the Syrian, reference Luke 4:25-27, and we hear the story of the one grateful leper who is a Samaritan, reference Luke 17:11-19. Unlike the Jewish writings, women have an important place in Luke's Gospel. Luke writes about the women who accompanied Jesus, such as Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Susanna, and Martha and Mary, and many other women who used their own resources to help Jesus and his disciples. Reference chapter 8:1. Luke also writes about the birth of Christ from Mary's point of view, and she is especially important in Luke's Gospel. It is only in the Gospel of Luke that the story of Mary's Annunciation, her visit to Elizabeth, the Magnificat, the presentation, and Jesus' remaining in Jerusalem are told. In Luke's Gospel, we learn the words spoken by the angel to Mary at the Annunciation, "Hail Mary, full of grace," and Elizabeth's words to Mary, "Blessed are you, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus." Luke's Christian ministry can be followed in the book of Acts. Up until the 16th chapter, the story of Acts is written in the third person, much like a historian recording facts. The voice of the narrator then changes to first person, and scholars believe this is done at the time Luke first joined Paul at Troas in the year 51. The book of Acts switches back to third person, and scholars believe that this reflects a period in time when Luke was not present during the events that are recorded. Based on his accurate description of towns, cities, and islands, as well as correctly naming various official titles, archaeologist William Mitchell Ramsey wrote that Luke is a historian of the first rank. Not merely are his statements of fact trustworthy, he should be placed along with the very greatest of historians. Adding to this sentiment, Edward Musgrave Blakelock, a professor of classics at Auckland University, remarked, "For accuracy of detail and for evocation of atmosphere, Luke stands, in fact, with Thucydides. The Acts of the Apostles is not shoddy product of pious imaging, but a trustworthy record. It was the spade work of archaeology which first revealed the truth." Tradition says Luke lived a long life without marrying, and that he died at the age of 84. Luke was the first Christian physician and was venerated by the Catholic Church as a patron saint of physicians and surgeons. He is also the patron of artists, bachelors, bookbinders, brewers, butchers, doctors, glassmakers, glass workers, goldsmiths, gold workers, lace makers, lace workers, notaries, painters, sculptors, and stained glass workers.